I have more energy. Now I get out of bed and I look forward to the day and I look myself in the mirror and I actually am excited to take on the day, and now I can truly do my job.
If you're serious about losing that weight and regaining your health and vitality, call the number on the screen right now.
I'm here with best-selling author Lee Shelby, and we're talking about his book, No Hands and No Excuses. Not only motivating and inspiring, but insightful, a roadmap blueprint for us to move to the next level. Lee, welcome to the program.
Great, thank you very much.
It's good to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
All right,
Great to be here.
Well, listen, it's going to be a great show. I got to start where I think is important and relevant. People have flipped the channel and they've stopped on us.
Right.
And they see you. And it's obvious that you have had to overcome some stuff in your life.
Right.
And so I want to, if we can, start our show, because a lot of people are struggling and going through craziness, if I could say it that way.
Right.
But you've been through some stuff. And you're a walking testimony.
Thank you.
Of state of mind, that outlook, that anything is possible. Right?
Yes, yes, sir.
We think we have problems, right?
Yes.
So I want to go right into this by you sharing with us what happened.
Well, my accident happened on August 12th, 1991. So I worked for a utility company in Memphis, Tennessee. So I was an overhead distribution lineman for that company. And that day when I had my accident, I got burned in my right hand, into my left hand, came out under my armpit, and burned off both hands to where they had to be amputated.
Dear God.
Yes.
Back up if you would.
Okay.
May I walk through that
please.
A little bit?
Yeah.
So you're on a pole?
All right, so I worked on a 7-man line crew.
7-man line
7-man crew. And I was in a bucket truck. So when I'm working
That's
in a
one
bucket.
of those things on the crane. Got it.
Buckets, yeah. So I'm in a bucket truck working on a service going from the pole to a lady's house.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So my job was to cut down that service. So when I got in my bucket.
And that typically, that's something you did often.
Yes, all the time. This was a typical.
Pretty straightforward.
Yes. Very, very typical job.
Okay.
Okay. This wasn't a complicated job.
Got it.
Okay.
So to you, it's just another day on the job.
It was an ordinary day.
It's an ordinary day.
Ordinary day. Ordinary Monday.
Yeah.
But something extraordinary happened.
Okay.
All right. So whenever I go to cut down the conductors, I have a pair of bolt cutters, red metal handle bolt cutters, okay, in my hands. And I went to cut, and I managed to cut 2 of those overhead, those energized secondary conductors, just a house service, that's all. Okay, what goes into a house. So whenever I managed to cut 2 of those, the way the wires were configured was there was a hot leg and a neutral. Then above that, there was a 24-inch space above that, where there was a primary conductor which carried 13,200 volts in it.
God.
Okay, so whenever I cut 1, I cut 2, and whenever I went to cut the top, this hand went in to that primary conductor.
Oh my God.
That was 13,200 volts. It went into the right hand, into the bolt cutters, into the left hand of the bolt cutters, up my left arm, and came out under my left armpit.
When you say came out, what do you say?
Electricity goes in your body, it has to exit. It can't stay there. Voltage cannot stay in your body. It has to come out. So when it comes out, it makes what you call a blowout. It makes a hole. It blows a hole out of some part of your body.
Oh my God.
So mine came out under my armpit. And you have to consider the fact that if you ever talk to someone who's been through something like this, a lot of times it will come out in various parts of their body, maybe even the bottom of their foot, in most instances. If it comes out the bottom of your foot, it's got to travel all through your body.
Oh my God.
It's got to go through your internal organs, it's got to cross your heart, it's got to go through a lot of various different things.
Which I would imagine is damaging all the way.
Exactly.
All the way through.
It's ping-ponging, it's damaging organs, doing everything. So if mine came underneath my arm, which it did, if it came out here, That meant one thing. It didn't touch anything else.
Wow, it's a miracle.
So 13,200 volts is supposed to kill someone. I was able to survive that accident, something that was supposed to have killed any other person. I was able to survive to do this.
What was going through your mind
At that moment?
at that moment? I ask you some dumb questions. Do you feel the pain? Are you in shock? What does one think in that second?
Before the accident, in that moment before, okay, that was a moment of being complacent. That was a moment of not paying attention to what I was doing. That was a moment of not taking my responsibility to keep myself safe, okay? So in that moment before, yes, that was a moment where I made a mistake. I was accountable for keeping myself safe, and I didn't do that, okay? But in that moment that it happened, that moment, yes, it was very painful, but there was a lot of shock. So at the moment when it happened, it desensitizes things. So I didn't really feel it that much until the helicopter flight from the accident location to the med, to the burn unit. That's when the feeling started to come back.
And your hands. Well, how did you lose your hands?
So when the electricity came in, this hand, I had a pair of leather gloves on. I did not have the right PPE, in other words, the right personal protective equipment, the right gloves on to handle the job that I was doing. I was supposed to be wearing a pair of primary voltage rubber gloves.
Yeah.
Come up to your elbows.
Okay.
Big, thick black gloves. I didn't have those on.
Got it.
I had on a pair of leather gloves.
Yeah.
Whenever I contacted that conductor, it made a ground through me. When it did, it went into the other hand, and it burned both of them so bad. If you could imagine sticking your hands in a microwave
Oh my God.
and leaving them there,
Oh my God.
that's what they looked like. They were cooked from the inside out.
Jesus.
13,000 volts cooked them from the inside out, cauterized the blood flow, the nervous system, lymphatic system, the veins, the arteries, everything from the wrist down was dead. The muscle and tissue, it was all gone.
Okay, I need to take a time out. Things happen in this life. Bad stuff. Where's God? I don't know. Why me? I don't know. It seems to me you have a choice to make
Exactly.
in that moment. After the pain and the surgery and everything else, and life goes back to your new normal,
My new normal.
it seems that there's a decision that has to be made.
Exactly.
I want you to walk me through that, because I know when you talk about no excuses,
Right.
you had to unpack this in your life.
Right.
You had some decisions to make that I believe your book, your testimony, is going to speak to a lot of people facing that right now.
I woke up in the in the hospital. One of the first times I remember waking up, my hands were suspended above my head. My arms had already been cut off. So when the first thing that I saw was two arms above my head, there was a rack that ran around my bed that kept them above my head. And whenever I woke up, opened my eyes, that was the first thing I saw. So that meant there had to start a decision process of what I'm going to do. Okay, I had to start learning that I'm going to relive my life. Okay, as soon as I got out of the hospital, I started to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and I did. I didn't want to have anyone take care of me. I didn't want to be dependent on someone else. I speak to people all over the country, all over the world, and I'd go every place, talking to them about how to stay safe and how to not get themselves injured.
Jesus.
But I had to make a choice. The first thing I had to do was forgive myself.
Explain.
Self-forgiveness. I had to learn to own what I did. I had to own exactly whose fault this was. This was my fault. Everything that happened was my responsibility.
Yeah, because when I asked you to explain what happened to your hands, you didn't start with what happened to your hands.
No.
You kind of set me back. You actually started with what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Or you started with responsibility. That was part of the process.
Personal responsibility, yes. Taking ownership for
And
what I
you
did.
talk about that in your book.
Exactly.
Unpack that for me.
Okay.
So stay on there, because a lot of people, so here's what happens. Something happens to us, and we want to go into the blame game,
Right.
right? It's someone else's fault. And many times that's true. But it's not the first step
No.
to getting onto the track you're talking about.
Right.
There's a personal responsibility
Exactly.
that's necessary.
Exactly.
Talk me through that.
So you have to take ownership for what you've done. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you've had a car wreck or whether, it doesn't matter. I knew whose fault this was. Addressing that took a long time. Okay, it did take a while because I was frustrated, I was upset, I was angry, you name any emotional problem, and I had it, okay? So whenever I finally came to realize that, Lee, this is your problem, you did this, you created this incident, this is why you're here in this situation, now you have to forgive yourself. So I had to learn to forgive myself for what I had done to myself so I could move on in my life.
Sure.
When I learned to do that, I learned to quit living in doubt and fear and anxiety, and I learned to quit making excuses for different things. Because I learned to fly an airplane, jump out of airplanes, I learned to do you name it, I could probably...
Wait, she said it too fast. Then or now? You learned
now.
You learned how to fly an airplane
after I got injured.
With no hands?
With no hands, just like this.
All right, keep going.
So, well, that was part of my job duties when I went back to utility, was to learn to fly an airplane. That's inspection of the tower lines were my responsibility. So I went to an airport and they sent me to flight school, and I learned how to fly a single engine fixed wing airplane. But
that started with seemingly something inside determination.
Exactly. Determination, the will to live, the will to survive, and not only survive, but to thrive. I didn't want to just survive. I wanted to thrive. I wanted to be something. I wanted to break those barriers. I had an ambition. I had a goal.
Wow.
I had a mission.
And you were determined to see it through.
And I was going to say, and I'm still determined to continue to see it through. It's not through. It's not done. It won't be done till I'm dead.
Oh, no. Something tells me you've only scratched the surface.
I'm just beginning. I'm only starting.
I want to take a quick break.
Okay.
You're inspiring.
Thank you.
I want to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this.
You can lose 30 pounds or more in 30 days. That's like losing the weight of 2 bowling balls. Wouldn't you like to lose the weight of 2 bowling balls? Reserve your spot at Zoe Wellness Center like so many others have already. Nancy lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Ron eventually lost 126 pounds. That's 40 pounds a month, for crying out loud. Call Zoe Wellness Center right now and you can lose 30 pounds or more in only 30 days. It's time to improve your game. Make the call right now.
Hey, I'm Damon. Welcome back to the program. I'm here with best-selling author Lee Shelby, and we're talking about his book, No Hands and No Excuses. If I could ask you, I'm going to clear the deck, all right?
Okay.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Put your arm here. Okay. Open that for me. Close it. Open it. What is this attached to?
Okay.
How are you doing that?
This cable runs all the way up.
Okay.
Across the
May I?
Yeah, please, all the way to my back.
Yep.
There's a ring dead in the center of my back.
Got it.
About the size of a silver dollar.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So which attaches to the exact same thing going to the other side. There's a cable that runs all the way down this side. Attaches here. This is one unit.
Got it.
One complete unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my arm, my physical arm, my residual limb is right here under this. I go down to about right there. So whenever I want to open the prosthetics, all I have to do is move my back or my shoulder.
Got it.
When I do that, this cable, the only thing that's stationary, everything is stationary on this whole arm except for this piece right here and this piece right here in the cable. So whenever I do, I flex my back or my shoulder.
Got it.
And it opens. Then whenever I relax, it closes.
I want to ask you a lot of detailed questions that many people are afraid to venture to. The Zoe life is about what's the body. It's 3 parts really. Zoe is Greek for life, and by definition it's not just ordinary life. Zoe in the Greek means extraordinary life. And so the whole program is designed to help people to discover the steps they can take to reach the Zoe life, the extraordinary one. So to do that, we got to have some very candid and transparent conversations about the body and the mind, and I don't mind asking tough questions.
Good.
Like the one I just asked. Show me how that works. And so I want to take some time in this program for our Atlanta viewers that are going through some medical situations.
Right.
Maybe they're facing surgery or physical therapy, and I can just tell you from my own experience. One thing that I discovered along my journey is that the more I knew about how this body worked, the more I was able to discipline my mind.
Education was your key.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Take me down that road.
Well, I had to educate myself about prosthetics. I had to educate myself about how my body worked. I had to educate myself about what it took to make me function right. I had to educate myself about how my body needed to stay in shape to get there. I mean, that's the physical part. The mental part was, we'll get to that in a second, but you know, the physical part was as soon as I started therapy, I had 7 months of occupational therapy, 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. Somebody dropped me off in the morning, somebody picked me up in the afternoon. That was every day, 7 months, okay?
In what, a center?
It was in an occupational therapy center, which is attached to my OT's therapy clinic, was attached to the hospital.
And what, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you a lot. What is occupational therapy? By definition, what is that?
That is different than a physical therapist. A physical therapist is going to make sure that all of you're working correctly, your muscles and your joints and everything don't get bound up. Okay. An occupational therapist is going to take you down the road to get you prepared to go back to work.
Wow.
And that's what she was preparing me to do, to go back to work. So I did go back to work after 10 months at 23 days.
Which in that case is, hey, your life's not the same.
Right.
You don't have hands, bro.
Yeah.
So you're not going to, for example, you got a straw in your cup.
Exactly.
For a reason.
Right.
You
Because
can't.
I don't want to drop the cup and me and you both with the water in it.
So you had to learn. I mean, it's obvious. You had to learn how to pick up a cup.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I dropped so many of them over a period of time that I finally figured out, you know, dummy, don't do that again. You know, put a straw in it this time. You know, so.
But you were going to the workforce, so then
Exactly.
you had to learn how to do all the stuff we take for granted.
Right. I mean,
differently.
The elementary tasks that you take for granted every day: writing, using your cell phone, picking up a book, picking up a cup, putting a straw in it, putting your glasses on, putting your watch on, putting a button in your shirt.
Can you use a cell phone?
Yes.
How do you do it?
I can't use an iPhone.
Okay.
But I use an Android.
Got it.
So an Android is just pressure technology.
Wow.
That's all. I mean, I use mine all the time. If it wasn't for my phone, I'd be lost like everybody else would be.
I got to ask you what's going to come across to my viewers as dumb questions, but just bear with me. I got a great guest. Is there a lot you can't do?
Well,
Or have you learned to really, you could figure out a way to do just about anything?
I can't do brain surgery. I mean, the brain surgery is one thing, and I'm not even going to attempt. Now, could I change my oil in my car before I had my accident? Yes, I could. Could I change my oil now? No, I can't.
Okay.
But I'm going to take it to an oil change place. That doesn't mean I'm going to let my car overheat and fall apart because I can't get the oil changed in.
Gotcha.
I'm going to figure out a different way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I had to do. I figured out different ways to do everything. If I can't physically do it, I know what my limitations.
Yeah.
I know what they are.
Okay.
I know exactly what I can and cannot do. If I run into something I can't do, I'll figure out a different way of getting it done.
Yeah.
If I can't figure out a different way of getting it done, I'll ask somebody.
Yeah.
Give me some advice. But usually I can figure out everything on the fly.
And that's a good segue to the mind right
Exactly.
there, because yeah, you had to realize there's some stuff I cannot do anymore, but I'm going to find a way. Can't change my oil, but I'm going to get to an oil change special.
I can drive to it.
So let's talk about that. We fight the battle in our mind,
Right.
don't we?
Right.
Talk to me about that.
Our mind wants us to believe that we can't do things sometimes. We have to convince ourselves that we can do things sometimes. We have to tell ourselves that, you know what, I'm going to do this. Whether my mind believes I can do it or not, I'm going to do it. And I do. That's what I do all the time. My mind says, you know, hey, Lee, you can't pick that cup up. Yeah, I can. I can figure out a way to get it up. You can't move that chair. Yeah, I can. I can pick that chair up. I can put it anywhere I want to on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, I can fish. I can ride a four-wheeler. I can do anything that I used to do. With respect to certain things. Like I said, I can't change my oil.
Yeah.
Okay. But I can do other things.
But there was
I can dress myself. I can do the things that
really?
need to be done.
So can you do your buttons?
Yes.
So,
you know how I do them? I have a buttoner. I have a shirt buttoner.
There's always a way, right?
If there's a will, there's a way.
Well, that requires then determination.
Sure.
That requires will. That requires making a decision.
Right.
That I'm not going to allow anything to stand in my way.
Right.
No excuses, you talk about in your
Right.
book. No hands, but no excuses. So walk me through that. When someone's facing the battle of the mind right now, something's gone on in the body, they were diagnosed, the doctor said bad news, but I can get through this. That's
Right.
50% of it right there, if not
Exactly.
more, right?
Right.
Walk us through when the mind says no. How do you say yes?
And this may not answer your question totally, but a lot of people are too focused on finding their happiness. So if they can think they're happy, if they try to be happy trying to do something, you know what I mean, trying to accomplish that task, and they keep failing, they're not truly understanding what their mind's capable of. So there's a difference between happiness and joy. You know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to quit trying to find happiness in being able to accomplish tasks and find joy in my life, which joy meant I was happy with what I have, what
There you
God put me on this earth here to do.
There you go.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was my joy. So I quit trying to make myself happy with doing these elementary tasks. I was happy, I was joyful in what I had, a life,
Yeah.
my survival, my health, my ability to do things, my ability to travel, my ability to get out, my ability to talk to people. My joy is my gift.
There you go.
And this is my gift.
Yeah.
This is what God gave me to get to do.
You turned what would be a victim,
Right. Victim
mentality into a victor mentality. You chose to see your circumstance as an opportunity, a setup.
Right. This is not a problem.
There you go.
This is a process.
Okay.
This is a process that allows me to grow, to teach, to help other people, but it doesn't allow me to have excuses.
Wow, it's good.
It's a process.
That's good. You wrote a book, No Hands, No Excuses. Powerful, life-altering. And you talk about we have to live a life with no excuses. What do you mean by that?
Well,
I know the obvious, but give me a little bit more. Unpack that for us.
Well, like I told you about your joy, okay? Now your joy is what you were put here to do, what you were meant to do, what God created you to do right now. This is my joy, okay? My joy means I don't make excuses. I don't have hands. It can't be my excuse for not doing anything. I have to find a way to accomplish my goal. Right now, my goal is to reach as many of you out there as I can, to help you with any challenges that you have, to motivate you, to inspire you, to educate you, and to keep you moving forward. That's my mission right now.
Yeah.
My mission is to direct you in the way that I can, to find your joy. Quit trying to make yourself happy, but be joyful in what you have, your life, whatever life that is. Don't try to make yourself happy, because you're gonna always fail. Happiness is dependent on an outcome.
Yeah.
Joy's not.
That's right. Joy is typically rooted in something that isn't movable.
Exactly.
And it sounds like if you can see, gosh, I like what you said. This isn't a problem. This is
A process.
a process.
Yeah.
If you can see what we call problems today as something different, a process for, help me out, for learning,
For learning.
for growing,
Educating.
for developing,
Yes.
for refining,
Right.
not defining, refining.
Yeah. Quit trying to make a problem out of something and develop it into a challenge. Learn how to use it as a challenge, something to overcome.
That's good.
Like I put in that book, I had 4 choices whenever my accident happened. There's this mountain right here. Okay, there's this psychological mountain sitting between me and the rest of the life. So I can either go around it, I can go over it, I can go through it, or I can make my home right at the base of it and never leave. And I wasn't going to make my home at the base of that mountain and not ever go through it. So I decided to go right through it. I blasted right through it.
I heard it said, breakthrough is breaking to
Yes,
something.
right.
And that's what you did.
I did. I broke to a new life. I broke to this life. I broke to a greater life. I have a great life. I have only because I was able to find joy and find happiness in what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's the Zoe life.
Yes.
I want to thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much.
Can I have you back?
Yes, you can. Anytime.
You got another book coming?
I do.
I can't wait.
I do. And you're going to like where it came from, too.
All right.
It's going to be a great one. If everything goes right, it'll be from me doing the Mount Everest base camp climb.
You're kidding me.
That's my hopes.
Well, we're going to root you on.
Thank you very much.
And knowing you now as I do, you're going to do it.
Oh, I'll do it. as long as they don't stop me.
Send us a photo from the top, will you?
Selfie.
Hey, thank you for being part of our program today. Thank you for your investment. As always, this program is designed to add one thing to shape your thinking and help you win today. This is the Zoe Life. I'm Damon, I'm your host, and we'll see you again next time.
Can you lose 30 pounds or more in 30 days? Now you can. You can finally lose the weight you've always wanted, not by counting points, not by prepackaged fad diets, and without exercise or unnecessary medications, but by brand new cutting-edge technology that's been proven to work through testimonial after testimonial. Guaranteed. Your first step is to pick up the phone and call the Zoe Weight Loss and Body Balancing Expert team of trained doctors and health consultants right now. Zoe's technology-based biometric body analysis utilizes cellular biocommunication to identify specifically why you're gaining weight and having difficulty keeping it off. This information targets specific biomarkers that have fallen outside of their healthy range. Step 2. Based on your biometric body analysis, the Zoe team develops a targeted plan based upon your body's unique needs. They'll determine precisely what food and supplements your body needs in order for your body to achieve internal balance, thus eliminating unnecessary body fat, toxins, and bacteria that cause weight gain. Step 3. Simply follow the plan for the next 30 days that's been specifically designed for you by Zoe's technology and team of weight loss experts. And for the first time in your life, you'll now have the tools to maintain this healthier, slimmer version of you for the rest of your life. When you follow your body's targeted plan, you can expect incredibly fast results and lose up to 30 pounds or more in just 30 days. Sustainable weight loss while eating real foods, reduced need for prescribed medications, overall improved health through internal cellular balance, including joint relief, lower blood pressure, and increased energy. At Zoe Weight Loss and Body Balancing, you'll be on your way to fat loss and true wellness for the rest of your life. It's that simple. How much would you pay for overall wellness? How much would you pay for as much as 2 pounds of weight loss per day? All of this without pills, expensive exercise equipment, or prepackaged foods. Absolutely! Exclusive to this program, Zoe Wellness Center is offering the initial consultation and the biometric body analysis for only $30 for a limited time. The biometric body analysis and consultation is normally valued at $100, but with this special offer, you will receive $70 off the price if you act right now.
They not only talked about weight, but they told me what was going on inside my body. When they say you could lose up to 30 pounds in 30 days, I was really skeptical, but I kept losing that, about a pound a day. This really is working, and I need to keep following this because it's really going to pay off.
You now have no more excuses to get started on your weight loss journey. Call now.
You know what kind of foods are good for you specifically. They do scans and they find that out for you. It made it very easy.
If you're serious about losing that weight and regaining your health and vitality, call the number on the screen right now.